can I ask you to identify yourself first and what it was you did with him, for him? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Marielle Gaceta, CATBAGAN, but I was a Gaceta first when I covered FVR during his S&D days. I wish it were earlier, but no regrets. So that was my first beat, defense.
Okay.
And I was very privileged and lucky to have covered him. And then with General De Villa as his chief of staff. And then I think until the first 2 years of his presidency, I also covered him. 97. I don't know. I think yung 96, 97.
Latter part.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before the elections before his
97,
I think the year before his term ended,
Yeah,
I left na.
Okay. You still remember the first time you met him? Presscon. COS na ba siya o SND na?
SND.
SND
I
na.
think it wasn't even in Camp Aguinaldo.
Yeah.
It was his first field visit into Gigarao after the tragic death of General
Aguinaldo.
his J7. Oh my God. It was the Aguinaldo thing.
Yeah. The
Si
mutiny.
General Florendo. Yun.
Okay. So hindi pa nga talaga
I think I don't know if he was chief of staff then or SND na.
SND.
So that was the first time I saw him.
Any preconceived notions when you got the assignment? Defense ka?
For some reason, I did not tell anyone. That was my first, basta I was a PA then. And then nagkaroon ng need for reporters. And I don't even know the beat system. I just knew I wanted to cover this sector that I hated so much when I was in college.
Militar?
Yes. Because parang utak pulbo na yung tingin ko sa kanila eh. And I wanted to go there and be the discover. I want to debunk or reinforce my beliefs about the military.
And put them in the rightful place?
I was rash then. No. But I wanted, for some reason, I was fascinated and reviled by them.
Talaga?
Then.
Impressions of then General Ramos?
He's very stern.
Talaga?
Very stern, pero he does not have this X factor eh. But he had X factor na hindi mala Imelda, but he had this command. Yung presence niya had a certain command that you will listen. Hindi siya, yung presence niya hindi nagmumura na, pakinggan niyo ako, hindi. It was a quiet strength.
Okay.
For me, that was yung dating niya sa akin na.
So, hindi celebrity, pero leader.
Yes.
Leader ang
Yes. Someone you would listen to. Someone you want to know more because he has this enigma. Because hindi siya yung nakikita mo agad, kilala mo na eh. Parang he's someone, he's enigmatic, yet he has this quiet strength, and he has a certain command that does not demand. It's a command that ikaw mismo,
kusa.
yes. Yes. Now that you refresh my memory, that's my first impression of him.
Talaga?
Yeah. It's very refreshing to realize.
But what was it like for yung nga, you were fresh out of college?
No naman, I was 4 years into AB Channel 4, so I was
okay.
this gusgusing production assistant who wears tattered shoes and tattered jeans when they were not yet uso. So, basta, I was far from the sophisticated reporters of the defense press corps. Eager beaver ba?
Oh, okay.
Yun.
Okay. So, yung first meeting, what was it about? I mean,
Okay, the first time I really got
up close.
up close was a press conference.
Okay.
In DND.
He held
in
those
social,
regularly?
Yes, he did. I was very surprised, and he was very accessible, but he won't take stupid questions.
Oh,
You have to know what you're asking. You have to do your assignment. Kasi he will call you out. He will say, that's a very convoluted question.
So he'd cut you down, huh? I mean,
Not me.
no. Yeah, I mean, no holds barred. I mean, roll with the punches.
Yeah. But sometimes it's really frustrating because he's good with words, eh. And he's good with information. He knows how to
Okay.
manage information.
Okay.
So, if it's convenient or beneficial for DND or for the government, he'll give you a straight answer.
Okay.
But he's very good at deflecting.
Oh,
So even if you ask it a second time in another, he knows. He's very sharp.
talaga.
Yeah.
Is that the intelligence man in him also?
I think so, because he knows how to manage information, eh.
Mm-hmm.
Diba? He knows how to calibrate the release of what the public should know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's part of his enigma rin.
Talaga.
It's not a learned thing, eh. Maybe he learned it through the years, but it's something, it has to be innate also. And
okay.
he has that's part of his enigma.
Okay. When did you know that you already made it? No? Na nandun ka na sa first recall niya ng ito media friend ito, yun yung ganon.
Media friend. I think when he would look for me during press con,
Talaga.
or he would ask, sama niyo si Mariel sa dito.
Oo.
And then it became a weekly thing, and then an almost daily thing because he's hardly in the office. He's out in the field. I think that is what made me respect him. He's not an armchair technocrat. He's really field.
Talaga.
Yes, because I remember there was this super boring, for me, super boring meeting with local officials, barangay level. And not to sorry, let me rephrase that. There was this lengthy meeting with local officials at the barangay level. And nag-give up na kami lahat ng mga reporters. We went out na, and yet he was listening to them. Each and everyone until sunset. Well, after sunset. And he was not even running. There was really no notion of him running yet.
Plain S&D pa lang siya noon.
Yes, because he was talking about the need to be prepared for disasters at the most ungodly hours because that's when disaster strikes. And then he would listen to yung simpleng franchise ng mga tricycle ng mga tao sa barangay.
I'm supposing ito yung mga peace and order council,
Yes.
'di ba? National peace
And
and
that
order.
really not just impressed me, that made him respect him as a leader because he listened. He did not hear you, he listened.
Okay.
Why do I say that? Somebody else, an officer in the field, he had this command conferences and he was saying some figures. So he was just, pag ano yan, hindi yan titingin minsan sa'yo eh. He would just take down notes. And after a few minutes, kala mo tapos ka na, he would ask, let's go back to that figures you were saying. How can that be? He was listening all the time. He knew about the figures. And he was challenging that officer to prove na yun nga yung figures. I think it's, now looking back lang that makes me appreciate him more because he really is a listener and matalino siya kasi hindi siya, yung matalinong hindi lang book smart he's really street smart kasi pinakikinggan pala niya ito. Akala natin hindi kasi notes lang siya ng notes. And then, china-challenge niya yung figures. Kasi alam niya. Because he did his homework. And then, pag mali yung sagot, kahit tama yung figures, i-challenge pa rin niya.
So everybody was on their toes.
Yes. Yes, too bad for that officer because he was not articulate enough. But I think he let it slide because the figures were right. I think he was just testing people to know na alam nila yung pinag-uusap. Alam mo yung sinasabi mo. So that was one of those things. I can't remember who but I remember the scene.
It was a command conference.
Yes.
Okay. Receptive ba siya sa media? Parang na-hint mo na kanina Pero bukas na bukas ba o...
I think he plays it. He plays his cards to how it will work best. Not for him, but for how it will push the agenda.
Was he a good source?
Well, he was a good official source. But as a journalist, syempre, you still have to look for other ways. But if you ask it point blank and he knows that you did your homework, I think he's a good source in that sense.
Talaga?
Yeah. But he will also challenge you.
Oh, okay.
Na, you better make sure that you vet what I'm telling you.
May tactics ba siya na he would play with the information. I mean, don't quote me on this, but he'd still point you to
I
where
think
to go.
I think he's very astute that way. Maybe because he doesn't want to be quoted. I remember, I had this scoop. Yung first peace talks with the left. I got it really from... It was a germ of an information. Wala talaga. And then I asked around, and I asked it during a press conference. I think yung sagot niya na no comment, and then a smile, and a wink. That gave me impetus to dig further. He cannot say it himself because he was SND, and he was, I think, chairman of the panel. And I think there was no clearance yet from President Cory. To pero I got it. And I landed front page on Inquirer. Pero sabi lang government station. But that's good enough for me. Because that, di ba?
Tell me about the work ethic. I mean,
work ethic is a standard that not just leaders but ordinary people should emulate.
Like what?
He is organized.
Okay.
He works very early. And I think he works late at night too. He doesn't waste any time. Yung papunta natin from our place to our place of work, tapos na siya magpirma ng mga paperwork niya. Because he brings it home, signs the papers in the car, going from, I think, Alabang to Camp Aguinaldo. And no time wasted. I think he was also the one who organized the paperwork in Malacañang. Sa kanya ko na, and through Balong, sa kanya ko natutunan yung, the barcode.
Yeah.
In documents. Because there was one time, merong lumabas na white paper, supposedly signed by, not a white paper, a memo supposedly signed by him. And it was proven within the day that it's fake news because there was no barcode.
Mhm.
So, di ba parang ang genius, and that was in the 90s.
Mhm.
Wala pang ano nun eh, di ba? Wala pang social media nun eh, and everything. And he's really a visionary. He thinks ahead, what people need, where people need to go. Biro mo, roadmap.
Yeah.
He has this 2020 vision. I think of all the presidents, he has a particular vision of where he wants the country to go. It's
What was that like as a journalist? I mean, you knew your subject, had a plan, had a roadmap, and he was getting it done.
personally, as a journalist, I was way over my head because he was way ahead of the pack. He was, ayoko magsip-sip pa, but I think he's a first world class of his own. Ang galing eh, parang, wow, naisip mo yun. Naisip mo na itong gusto natin puntahan. And he actually built and established the foundations for that. That's why during the 97 Asian crisis, when all the other banking systems and financial systems were going down, we were still up. And it took a while, and maybe some mismanagement of his successor, na eventually bumigay, but not during his time, not when he was there, or even shortly after. I think it will only take mismanagement and kapabayaan and wasting opportunities para matibag mo yung tinayo niya. And that's something, I think that's a legacy
Oo.
na I think mapagmamalaki niya talaga.
Yeah. What was FVR like roughing it up with the boys?
Kahit gusto niya maging one of the boys, he has a certain stature eh. Pero, he really tries. Hindi TH eh. It's just the way he is, yata.
Ano yung barkadahan ng, I mean, to
You
this
know,
day,
having
actually,
beer
yung-
with the DPC.
Yeah.
Yung mga socials natin, he would go around, joking around with his wry humor. You have to have a certain level of intelligence to appreciate his jokes eh. It's not kasi the slapstick type. His jokes are intellectual.
Wow.
They are, di ba?
Oo.
Tapos pag nagtatry siya magpaka-ordinary, nagiging corny.
Doon sumasabit.
Yeah. Come to think of it. But he's really a funny guy. If he wants to. Yung mga, mga pa, before an interview, bago mo siya interviewin, kailangan mo what do you call that?
Push-ups.
Mag-push-ups. Tapos yung kanyang salamin, it's so endearing. This was way back in the 90s, ha?
Na frame lang.
Frame lang. Parang, it's so FVR.
Mariel, tell me about the near-death experiences.
OMG.
Uh,
Yeah.
Hueys, Fokker planes.
Yeah, there were a lot of times na we would go through turbulent air pockets, and then he would go around with his tobacco. After that, ready ba kayo dyan? Okay ba kayo dyan? Mga ganon. Relax lang. Mga ganon. But I remember that time in Cotabato, the Malacañang press corps na ito. But he was already on the ground, thank God. We had a very bad landing. Very bad landing. Yung fuselage was on the ground, and the tail of the plane, it was really at a 30-degree angle. And I think Shelo Villaluna was screaming. Tapos kami, we were shaken. Tapos, when we went down, nakababa. At ang una naming nakita was the president. He was there to see if everybody was okay. And then, he had no choice. Si Ambassador Painor had to whisk him to the next
Event.
But he waited for us to get off the plane before he left for the next event.
Ibang klase yun. Someone else would have just, sila na bahala.
Yeah, kasi pwede naman sabihin, sir, okay na sila. No, he waited for each of us to go down. Yung matanggal na yung, kasi we were shaken eh. We were okay before he left.
So,
He left under duress. Yeah, but I really, I really appreciated that he waited for us.
yung nagfa-flight kayo ng sa Huey na once in a while you would take a shot from...
Oh my God, yes! Parang feeling ko tuloy because sa dami na nangyari, it was par for the course. But when you're out of the beat, you realize the danger that you were in, and now that you're of advanced age, you realize, were we foolhardy, or were we brave, or were we just foolhardy? But sa isip ko, kung ako nandun, natatakot, siya nga may katungkulan eh, mas mabigat na tungkulin eh. And he was there. And it's par for the course. For him and eventually for us.
But, boarding a Huey, weren't they called flying coffins?
Yes, with the Ligo tuna in the 50 caliber thing, just holding it together. I think that the fact that he's patronizing, meaning he rode those Hueys, is a testament to our Air Force also. And by extension to the military of their capability to fly these things, to operate these vintage machines, and not just a testament to his faith on them, but a testament to the capability of our soldiers ourselves, of the Filipino spirit to stretch our resources, to be resourceful in the face of poverty or limited resources, mga ganon.
Yeah. What was FVR like at the height of the coup? Ilang coup attempts ang na-survive mo with FVR?
I was there after na.
After?
Yeah, after na. Ang naabutan ko lang was the tail end of the Aguinaldo uprising and the Noble mutiny.
Okay.
He was... Ito lang ang dyan. If you see his tobacco lit, then he's under stress.
Oh.
Yes. Because he never lights them up.
Yeah, few people actually remember that cigar being
I
lighted.
only saw that once during the Noble thing.
Talaga?
Yeah.
So that was a sign for you?
Yeah, but outwardly you won't see him eh. I've heard of stories that he would bowl out his men. But I think like any good manager, diba, you praise your men, you praise your people publicly, and you bowl them out privately. I never heard him bowl out anyone, even during command conference. Not when media was there. Never. I don't know when we're away, when we're out na.
Sabi mo nga, praise in public, chastise in private.
Yes.
There was an inner circle of advisors, ano? I mean, you mentioned a few. And operators. Meron nga ba?
I would I would think so.
Were
Like
you
any other
familiar-
tactician.
Were you familiar with any of them? Or what they did
Si
for him?
Joel,
Okay.
not the details.
Mhm.
But we know that, they map out the strategies
Mhm.
and the tactics for managing information and operations. But kami kasi, malalaman mo na lang pag nandyan na eh.
Pag pumutok na.
Pag pumutok na. Yun, like, the peace talks, all of those are calibrated things. Maybe the things that were not foreseen, yung mga nangyari lang talaga, like the floor contemplation, I think that was,
95.
yeah, I think that was the first major test to his presidency.
Ah,
Not to his presidency, but to his administration. Yun. It was unfortunate because looking back, parang the labor secretary, it was heartrending to see her go because she did not deserve to be let go.
Sabi,
Yeah.
naalala mo, no? Secretary of National Defense, was there any inkling at all that he was, destined for greater things, for a higher office?
Me, I'm naive eh. I didn't see yung mga workings. But, yung sa akin lang, I wanted him to go further.
Oh, okay.
Oo. Back then kasi hindi pa ako sophisticated enough to listen to the of the ground eh. I just listened to what I felt was sana ganito, sana ganyan. And then when I saw things falling into place,
He eventually, di ba?
he did. Nalaman ko na lang when we were already, going around more frequently. And then he was not just talking to his public, the military and the police, but he's now talking to local officials.
Yeah.
He's talking to NGOs. He's doing more than the
Nagga-groundwork
usual.
na.
Yeah.
Napansin mo nang nagga-groundwork? Kailan
And
yun? Naalala
people
mo?
were receptive.
So noon pa lang actually, he was already preparing and he was already laying out the
Yeah, without us
groundwork.
realizing until it was all there.
Oh.
I think it's really in his nature that he plans and he plans well. And alam niya kung saan, parang he has a very good grasp of the people.
Kinover mo ba siya nung kampanya? O
Very limited na lang.
Oo.
Yung prior to. Yung nung nag-groundwork.
nung nagga-groundwork?
Oo.
Pero nung kampanya, hindi, iba na
Si
yung
Manong
assignments,
Freddy
oo
na.
nga eh. Oo nga.
But he told Mr. Lim Kako, padala mo na yan, kaya lang, natapos na. No?
Iba yung,
Yeah.
iba yung na-assign.
It's okay.
It's okay. What was the connection of the DPC gang with FVR that the ordinary Juan or Juana did not know? Parang ang tingin kasi ibang iba yung barkadahan na
Yeah.
na-establish dun sa Defense Press Corps ni FVR to the point na hanggang sa pagkapangulo, diba, diehards pa rin talaga yung DPC.
Because we know how he works. It's not perks. It's work. It's complete staff work.
Okay.
It's organized, visionary work. It's trabaho. Alam mo yun, yung marunong din kasi naman siyang haluan yun ng, ng, socials and everything. But the paramount priority is work. Makita mo siya nagtatrabaho. Hindi siya ang tawag doon, junket.
Oo.
And nakita namin yun. Nakita namin yung sincerity niya.
Mariel, you're the only journalist I've spoken with to date who's called out completed staff work. Why did that stick with you?
Kasi,
Ikaw lang ha? Ikaw
talaga.
lang. Nakailang journalist na akong nakausap.
I think it's a mark of a really good leader and manager.
Okay.
Hindi lang leader, manager. I think he prepared himself well for this. I think all his life. Kasi as a leader, hindi lang niya prepare sarili niya eh. Prepare din niya yung mga tao niya. He's the only guy I know who encouraged these people to be better. Who encouraged these people to study. Prepare for after retirement. He would tell them to go to AIM, take management courses, which is a very civilian in nature kind of work. And I think yung nasa nature na yata ng pagtatrabaho niya yun, yung iba kasi bara-bara eh. And then walang research. And then pagdating dun sa ay palpak. Sa kanya, I think and it's more efficient also. If you do research, if you do spade work, and then kasi kumbaga sa marketing, na-survey mo na eh. Itong kailangan ng tao, itong gusto ng tao. So when a proposal passes through his desk and he had this complete staff work, pag ni-roll out mo na siya for implementation, para mo na siyang nagkaroon na ng prep. Parang meron ng, what do you call this? Nagkaroon na ng pilot test. And I think that's what makes good innovators and visionaries and leaders of this world na feeling ko, wow, those were the 80s and the 90s. Ngayon palang tinuturo sa management classes. He's really way ahead of his time. Sorry if I sound such an admiring fan, but ngayon ko lang nare-realize as we speak what a visionary he is. And I think Marcos was also, but medyo may mga human factors na that got, the best of him. But I mean, really, FVR is one of a kind. And wait, I just need to tell this pagbubuhat ng bangko. And it is such an honor, a privilege, that he named me his favorite reporter.
Oh, see?
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Tatanungin ko kung yun yung yun ba yung is that your FBR moment? Or is that your favorite memory of FBR?
Actually, no.
Okay.
Kasi when he said that, it was in public. And I don't know why. Looking back, I said, I should have basked in the glory of that very public declaration. Because he said it on live TV. After my very convoluted question, which he called me out for. And then he went into this lengthy, Marielle Gaceta is my favorite reporter. Not was, is. And I was so embarrassed. Looking back, I should have been elated. I even cried afterwards. Kasi parang, bakit kailangan mo sabihin yan in public? Okay na sa akin, sinabi mo sa akin. Alam ko na yun eh. Ang weird lang, di ba? My mind then was, I'm a weird person, but I really appreciate that he said that. And I think because I was with him every single out of town, and I was covering, and then I would get lectures from him na, ngayon iniisip ko, ang galing nitong taong to. Kasi sabi niya, Mariel, pag nag-voice over ka, wag na yung mukha ko na nagsasasalita. Mag-action shots ka. I mean, he's not even a TV guy, right?
Yeah.
I'm the TV girl. And I'm getting these lectures from him. Which is, it's basic production.
What do you tell people of your time covering FBR? What do you share with them?
With them? Marami. Like this one. marami ako natutunan sa kanya as a journalist. You know, you don't pander to him. He hates that. You should ask you should ask researched questions. You do your homework as a journalist. Because he will know if you're just going around, or if you just want your 15 minutes of fame, or alam niya if you know what you're talking about.
Okay.
So do your homework.
Do you? Oo nga, no? CSW nga eh.
Yeah.
Completed staff work. That appealed to you, no?
It
Completed
did.
staff work. Kasi it's also, no? It's also what a journalist does. I mean, fully researched
Yes.
subject.
And it also kind of reinforces then and strengthens you as a person. Kasi hindi mo lang naman siya nadala ganito work ethic niya. Parang best practices mo na rin sa sarili. So that's my takeaway from him. Of course, I also cherish the moments he would say, shame on me, because I'm an Ilocano and I don't know how to speak Ilocano. Diba? And then, he would chastise me and even, physically make batok when he saw me wearing this Mao cap. Sabi ko, I have certain points of view, but I get you. And he respected that naman. Pero binatukan pa rin ako ng lolo. Yeah. Alam naman natin nun, di ba?
What do you want people to remember of FBR? As a person? As a friend? As president?
As a friend, I don't think I have reached that stature. Sorry. I don't think I have reached that stage where I would say I am his friend. He is mine.
Okay. Okay.
Pero kasi ang lalim ni FVR eh.
Okay.
And I'm not around all the time.
Okay.
The people who have been with him are the ones deserving to be called his friends. I am his admirer.
Okay.
I am his fan. I am his follower. I am his journalist. As a subject, he's a very good yet challenging subject.
Okay.
It's so hard to pin him down kasi you have to really ask this. You have to be sharp. You have to be truthful. You have to get his context. He cannot always spell it out. He doesn't like spelling things out all the time. So you have to be a really good journalist. If you're not, hindi naman ako super talino. Hindi ko siya maarok minsan eh. Which challenged me to be better. Which challenged me to research. Ano yung pinagsasabi ni FVR? Ito yun. Which challenged me to ask questions beyond the press conference.
Yeah.
And which I think made me a better journalist. As a president, and this is what I wish people would remember him by. He really made life better for Filipinos during his time. There were certain policies that people would challenge, like the oil deregularization, like yung trade liberalization. But it widened the middle class base eh. Sa totoo lang. 'Di ba? Sa totoo lang, dumami yung taong mas mula from D or E classes naging, lower C maybe, middle C, B. Basta nag-widen yung base na yon. Mas dumami ang bumuti ang buhay. Mas dumami, lumawak ang lumawak ang tingin sa mundo. Hindi lang tayo naging insular or inside looking sa affairs natin, but he helped open our eyes to the bigger world. In the same manner that he made the world look at the Philippines for investment, for technology transfer, for cultural exchange, for diplomatic relations. I think that's one of his legacies out of many. For me, parang, and then he was a military man. And yet, of all the presidents this country ever had, the peace talks flourished and resulted in something really tangible during his time. RAM, SFP, YOU, MILF, MNLF, CPP, NPA. The seeds were sown during his time. Some were started, of course, by President Cory. And one thing na gusto ko kay Presidente Ramos, yung idea niya of continuity. You know, he takes the best practices, and kung nag-work, and he doesn't say, this is mine alone. He gives credit where credit is due. Yung idea niya of continuity, you know, he has these concepts, mga matataas na concepts high-end, alapaap, but he has a certain way of putting them in practice.
On the ground.
On the ground, continuity, vision, 2020 vision. Yun. I think, in my inarticulate way, that's how I really see him. He's the best president this country ever had.
Thank you very much.